Osman Ghazi ben Ertugrul was born in 1258. Osman announced his independence of his own small principality from the Seljuk Sultanate of Rum in July 27, 1299. He was acclaimed the Khan of the Kaya tribe, all of which the Ottomans would eventually conquer to reunite Anatolia under Turkish rule. The Ottoman Principality was just one of the many small Turkish principalities at the time that emerged after the dissolution of the Seljuks. The westward drive of the Mongolian invasion had pushed scores of Muslims toward Osman's principality, a power base that Osman was quick to consolidate. As the Byzantine Empire declined, the Ottoman Empire rose to take its place. He pledged allegiance to Sultan Kayubad I of the Seljuk Principality of Rum, who gave him permission to establish a beylik and expand it, if he could, at the expense of the neighboring Byzantine provinces. This location was auspicious. Osman became chief upon his father's death in 1280. By this time, mercenaries were streaming into his realm from all over the Islamic world to fight against and hopefully plunder the weakening Byzantine Empire. In addition, the Turkish population of Osman's emirate were constantly reinforced by a flood of refugees fleeing from the Mongols. Of these, many were Ghazi warriors, border fighters who believed they were fighting for the expansion or defense of Islam. Under the strong and able leadership of Osman, these warriors quickly proved a formidable force, and the foundations of the empire were quickly laid. Osman appears to have allowed the strategy of increasing his territories at the expense of the Byzantines, while avoiding conflict with his more powerful Turkish neighbors. His first advances were through the passes which lead from the barren areas of northern Phrygia into the more fertile plains of Bithynia. Osman's first real conquest followed the collapse of the Seljuk authority when he was able to occupy the fortress of Eskişehir and Karacahisar. Then he captured the first significant city in his territory, Yenisei, which became the Ottoman capital. In 1302, after soundly defeating the Byzantine forces in Nicaea, Osman began settling his forces closer to Byzantine-controlled areas. Large numbers of Ghazi warriors, Islamic scholars, and dervishes began settling the Osman-controlled areas, and migrants composed the bulk of his army. The influx of Ghazi warriors and adventurers of differing backgrounds into these lands spurred subsequent Ottoman rulers to title themselves Sultan of Ghazis. Alarmed by Osman's growing influence, the Byzantines gradually fled the Anatolian countryside. Byzantine leadership attempted to contain Ottoman expansion, but their efforts were poorly organized and ineffective. Meanwhile, Osman spent the remainder of his reign expanding his control in two directions: north along the course of the Sakarya River and southwest towards the Sea of Marmara, achieving his objectives by 1308. The same year, his followers participated in the conquest of the Byzantine city of Festus, near the Aegean Sea, thus capturing the last Byzantine city on the coast. Although the city became part of the domain of the Emir of Aydin, Osman's last campaign was against the city of Bursa. Although Osman did not physically participate in the battle, the victory at Bursa proved to be extremely vital to the Ottomans, and as a newly ordained capital for Osman's son, Orhan, as the city served as a staging ground against the Byzantines in Constantinople. Osman I died in 1326. Orhan became Sultan of the Ottoman Empire shortly after. The girding of the sword of Osman was a vital ceremony which took place within 2 weeks of Orhan's accession to the throne. It was held at the tomb complex of the Golden Horn waterway in the capital Constantinople. This started a tradition of using Osman I's sword at the coronation of every sultan, caliph, and grand vizier until the Ottoman Empire ceased to exist in 1922.